So yes, before we get started with the video, I have changed the background. Why? People are probably going to be like, are you getting rid of records? No, the records have just moved down, it's just to save storage. So instead of looking at a lot of records in the background, now it's just a lot of Marvel stuff. So hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now it's been a little bit of time since we did a video, a little bit, not too long, but I really wanted to come back and do a video before the weekend. I didn't want to keep waiting until the weekends. I wanted to get a video up during the week for you guys, and yeah, unfortunately I get home from work a bit late. It's winter here in the UK, so the lighting is terrible. I apologise. You know, if I was God, I'd make it natural lighting, but I'm not a god. I don't think so anyway. Only kidding. So today I'm doing a pretty exciting video. I've been really wanting to make this video for a long time. I've been putting a lot of thought and a lot of effort into it. I keep going back to this list, trying to rethink it in my brain. And I think I'm quite happy with the list I've got for right now. So this is my album ranking all the way up to 2017. I'm not sure about 2018 yet. I'm not going to do one for 2019. So since the year I was born in 1997. I am 22 years old. And I am going to say my favourite album from every year since I've been alive. So from 1997, my favourite album from that. My favourite album from 98, 99, 2000, 2001, all the way up to 2017. I'm not doing 2018 because I honestly couldn't think of my honest favourite. I still need to listen to a lot from 2017, sorry. No, 2018. I haven't got one for 2018. This list is going to end at 2017. I've still got a lot of thinking to do about 2018. And I'm not going to do 2019 yet because it's not quite up. There's another couple albums coming out this year that I want to listen to. So I don't think it's fair to do 2019 just yet. Yes, I could wait another month and then do this video, but I want to do it now. So yeah, we've got an album from every year. My favourite album from every year since the year I was born. Now this here, I would love it if anyone who's watching who makes videos, it would be so cool to see yours. Of course, here in the VC, if that's even a thing anymore still. I know that a lot of people are older gentlemen than me, so they're going to have much bigger lists than me. Some of theirs are going to be covering the 80s and some of the 70s maybe even. So, you know, if you've got a huge list, you know, it would just be interesting to see. So this is just going from 97 to 2017. So we got 20 albums here to go over. So these are my favourite albums from each of those years. Before I keep waffling anymore, should we just start? Yeah, we'll just start, shall we? So from 1997, this was a pretty easy choice for me. It's my favourite album. I think it's my favourite album by one of my very favourite artists. This guy's in my top 3 artists of all time because you've just got to respect the man. That is Mr. Paul McCartney, and that is Flaming Pie. So 1997, my favourite album from the year I was born, Flaming Pie. This is my favourite album from this man. Now, I know not everyone out there loves McCartney in terms of solo career. Some people have always felt a bit let down by his solo performance. So you will. This is a great album. This album opens up with the song we were singing, which is fantastic. It's got some rockers on it, like The World Tonight, and Really Love You. It's got some beautiful songs like Beautiful Night and Little Willow. And it's just got some real nice classics on here, like Flaming Pie, Calico Skies and Young Boy. Some really good stuff on here. And remains to this day to be my favourite McCartney album. And I'm really hoping it gets reissued because the vinyl of it is super hard to get. And some people don't own it on vinyl, and it's a real shame. So hopefully it gets reissued so that people will have the opportunity to buy that album on vinyl soon enough. And I don't think it'll be long. I think it'll get a colour one like Chaos and Creation did a good year back now. 1998, this was also a pretty easy one for me. This is an album which has a lot of sentimental value to me. This is an album which really got me hooked on this artist. And this is another artist who is in my top 3, probably, of all time. That is Eric Clapton. And this is Pilgrim, which is a fantastic record, a massively underrated one. I never see people talk about this. Whenever people talk about Clapton, they either talk about his 70s and 80s work or his last couple albums. I never see anyone talk about the middle period anymore. It's a real shame, because he's got some great stuff there as well as this. You've got Reptile and Back Home, which I also love, and From the Cradle. But this one to me is the standout, Pilgrim. Why does this one stand out to me, and why is this such a good record? Well, a lot of people will probably remember, or they would have heard about Eric Clapton's son Connor, who fell out of a balcony window in, I think it was 1990, might have been 89, but I'm pretty sure it's 1990. He fell like out of a 40-story building, something ridiculous like that, and obviously died. He was only 3 years old, I believe. A lot of these songs are about him, and yeah, this album came out in 98. Took 8 years for Clapton to pretty much put this together, because a lot of the lyrics are really raw and really tough, but songs like My Father's Eyes, River of Dreams, Circus, you know, you can really hear the emotion there, and the vocals are amazing. This album is a real kick in the gut, and it's fantastic. It's the best vocal performances Clapton's ever give. You hear songs like Fall Like Rain, his vocals are just incredible. The guitar work is amazing. The only thing I don't like about this album is the drums. It's an electronic drum beat throughout most of it, and it really actually... It really actually lets the album down, because everything else is pretty perfect, I'd say, about that record. But I love it. I've got a lot of personal feelings towards that one, because this album got me into Clapton. I read his autobiography at the time, and a lot of the Connor stuff was in there, and I related to this album a lot. It's really interesting, fascinating record. Had to be my pick for 98. 99 was really tough, because admittedly this was a weaker year for me. I haven't heard loads of records from 99. God, I'm doing awful, get my years mixed up at the minute. So 99, yeah, I didn't really know loads of records that come out, I'll admit. So this one here is, you know, not many people are going to pick this, I know. But I like this album, and it's the best album I've heard from 99. So I was like, I'm going to have to go with this. And that is Echo by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Yeah, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers had an amazing streak for me. They had Full Moon Fever, which was really good. And then they got even better. Well, this is technically a solo Tom Petty record with Wildflowers, which I think is a bit better. And then it got a little bit more better, in my personal opinion, with Tom Petty and Heartbreakers, She's the One. This one brings it down a little bit, but I think this is kind of on the same level as Full Moon Fever for me. I find this a really interesting album. A lot of the songs are just really free, and you can tell that the band's having a good time in the studio on this one. My favourite songs on here, Room at the Top is fantastic. Maybe goes on a tad too long, but I love it. Count on You is really good. Lonesome Town's a really good song as well. What other ones we got? Billy the Kid's a good one. The title track, Echo, is really good as well. So it's just, again, it's not an amazing album, this one. Again, I'm just going to admit here, I didn't hear loads of albums from 99. But it's a very good album, and I'm very pleased to have that album. It's a very enjoyable one. So then from 2000, there was a handful of records I could have picked from here. I really wanted to go with Parachutes from Coldplay. That was a very close runner-up here. But I went with this one because, kind of like Clapton's Pilgrim, this is the album that got me into U2, and that is All That You Can't Leave Behind. It has one of the best singles ever. Beautiful Day. It's fantastic. The album is chock full of a load of other great songs. Peace on Earth is fantastic. I think it's maybe some of the best lyric songs U2's done. Really, maybe their most professional album. It's just very enjoyable album. So, yeah, there we go. All That You Can't Leave Behind, 2000. So for 2001, what a year 2001 was. The year my sister was born, so a very memorable one for me. Again, there was a lot of albums in 2001 that I wanted to pick, but I went with this one because I always find myself coming back to this album over time. You know, every now and then I will put this record on. Still find a lot of enjoyment in it. And that is Electric Light Orchestra, Zoom. This is the most forgotten ELO album ever, because really it is just Jeff Lynne. I think Jeff Lynne was having a bit of an identity crisis. Like, he released an album in the early 90s under his name, Jeff Lynne, Armchair Theatre, which was a great record, but it didn't sell because no one knew who Jeff Lynne was, really. Everyone just knew ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. So we went back to the title of the band here, the Electric Light Orchestra. And again, it done okay, I think, in the charts, but in America, it didn't perform at all. I think it was a bit of a shame. No one really, it'd been so long, and it was in that period of music where the older artists just weren't really doing as well. However, this album is great. It's full of so many good songs. The opening track, Alright, is more than alright. It's fantastic. Some of my other favourites on here are Moment in Paradise, Stranger on a Quiet Street, Easy Money, A Long Time Gone, Melting in the Sun, One Day. There's just some really fantastic stuff on here. And really, if I was to rank the ELO albums, including the solo stuff again, it would rank near the top. 2002, this was a very easy pick for me. Very easy. Rush of Blood to the Head by Coldplay. Yep. Fantastic record. Absolutely fantastic. I don't really know what I can say about this one that hasn't been said before. It's just full of one great song after the other. Best ones on here: In My Place, The Scientist, Clocks, Green Eyes, the title track of Rush of Blood to the Head, and Amsterdam is also great. There's just some absolutely incredible stuff on this record. It's probably Coldplay's best. Yeah, I think easily Coldplay's best, maybe. Although there's another album which I love from Coldplay, which we'll talk about in a minute. 2003, again, there weren't loads in 2003, kind of the same as 99 for me, when I haven't heard loads from this particular year, so I struggled with this year a bit more. But this is the album which I find the most enjoyment out of from 2003, and that is Reality by Mr. David Bowie, who is my third. He's also in my top three. I'd say, McCartney, Clapton and Bowie over the years. I just love them three artists. I think they're fantastic. Yeah, Bowie, fantastic. Absolutely incredible musician. And I don't think this is one of his best records. Again, just this year, in this particular year, 2003, there weren't much more that I heard that stood out to me as much as this one. Again, I standouts, I couldn't really give you any because the whole album kind of just flows really well with this one. I think that's the interesting thing about this record. And of course, that was the last album from Bowie in 10 years. 2004, this was the easiest pick for me. This is one of my favourite albums of all time. It would easily make my top 10 albums ever. That's Hopes and Fears by Keane, their debut album. This is potentially my favourite debut album ever as well. It might actually be my favourite debut album ever. This album's incredible. It's not a bad song on it. Every song on here is genuinely incredible. It's an incredible album. Tom Chaplin, still potentially the best voice I've ever heard. I think the man's amazing. Going into 2005, I was really tossing and turning about this one. This is one of the decisions which delayed the video, because there were two albums I really wanted to pick here as my favourite. The one I did pick, and the other one was Paul McCartney's Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. I love that record. There's so many good things on it. It's probably my second or third favourite McCartney album. I love it. It's a great album. But I went with this one overall, because when you put Chaos on, if you put it on and listen to it again and again, it does get repetitive. It does all kind of sound similar. The man recorded the whole album himself. It's going to happen. Shows how talented he is. But unfortunately, that's where this album kind of succeeds a little bit more. There's a bit more variety on it. And I think it's kind of equal in terms of quality of music. This one just has better repeat listens. So that's why I've gone with this one. And that is Don't Believe the Truth by Oasis. Yeah, that's right. Oasis had other good music after the first three albums. This is a really good album. This is my third favourite Oasis album, I'd say. I love it. Turn Up the Sun is incredible. Lila is also incredible. The Importance of Being Idle is a 10 out of 10 song. I love it. And, the whole album is just really good. It's a really solid album. And, yeah, don't regret picking that one for 2005. It's really good. But as I say, I wanted to give McCartney's Chaos and Creation a shout out as well, because that one is also fantastic. And I was... tomorrow I'm going to be like, I should have picked Chaos. So, going into 2006 now. Yep. And this was a pretty easy pick as well. This is Arctic Monkeys' debut album. This one is, I always forget the name of this one. Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. What a title. This has one of my favourite songs ever on I Bet That You Look Good on the Dance Floor. It's a banger. It's a banger. But yeah, the whole album just flows really, really well. I'd say my other favourites on here are... Oh, what would I say is my other favourites? Dancing Shoes is really good. Still Take You Home, it's really good. It's just a really nice rocking album. It's really, really nice listen. 2007, again, super easy pick for me. Just like 2004 with Keane. And 2002 with Coldplay. 2007 is hands down going to Alison Krauss and Robert Plant. This album is so smooth, it's like butter for a knife. It's beautiful to listen to. I could listen to this in any mood. It's so easy to listen to. They both have incredible voices, like incredible voices. Ain't a bad song on there. If you haven't checked that out and you're a Robert Plant fan or a Led Zeppelin fan, then what are you doing? Pick it up. It's amazing. And I'm probably going to get some slack for this because Led Zeppelin are absolutely incredible. But that might be the best project Robert Plant's ever done. Alongside Led Zeppelin 4, because that album's a masterpiece. But yeah, so I love that record. It's a great record. 2008, there's a couple albums here that I was debating putting in, but I went with my other favourite Coldplay record, Viva La Vida, Death to All His Friends. I'm pretty sure it's in the title. Yep. Great album. Really, really great. There's a couple moments where the album dips, though. But it's got some of my very favourite Coldplay songs on. I love the title track, of course. Lost is fantastic. Strawberry Swing is fantastic as well. I love it. It's a really, really cool record. And the last great Coldplay record. I think we're still waiting for another great one. Ghost Stories got close. But we're now waiting for another great Coldplay record. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get it this year. But I hear they're going back in the studio straight away to make another one. So... fingers crossed. 2009, we got another debut album here. This is one which I've always liked this album, and I wanted to pick it up specifically for this video. I picked it up about a month back, and that is Lungs by Florence and the Machine. This is a fantastic record. This is a absolutely incredible record. You know, you've got Dog Days Are Over, and you've got Love. Both massive hits, everyone knows them. My favourite track on here, though, is actually Kiss with a Fist. I can see that film, that being in so many films, that song. I think that would work in so many great action scenes. 2010. There weren't loads in 2010, I'm not going to lie. A weaker year for me, personally, with music. But this is what I went with. And this is also an album I come back to about once a year. I put it on and I'm like, yeah, that is a good record. I should play that more. And then it just kind of comes out every year. Because when you got as much music as I do, you normally only get an album in once a year or so. But it is simply titled Clapton by Mr. Eric Clapton. This is his kind of American songbook album, but he's taken them and he's, you know, let's say jazzed them up, jazzed and bluesed them up. A bit of a mixture of both. He's working with a big band here, a lot of strings, and it's just fantastic. You've got songs like Rocking Chair, How Deep is the Ocean, My Very Good Friend the Milkman, stuff like that. And normally this kind of stuff wouldn't be considered album of the year stuff for me, but it works so well with his jazzy blues influence. It's unique, it's different, not just for Clapton, but for that kind of genre in general. And it's great. I really like it. Right, things kind of got a bit easier here, because this is when I kind of got into music, and I've got a lot of records from each of these years from here on out. This is where things got a bit, like, oh, I definitely remember what stood out to me that year. So 2011 was super easy. It's my favourite album by this guy. Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. This is the debut, Noel Gallagher solo. Now, obviously, I wasn't an Oasis fan when this came out, so, I can only imagine what people thinking, like, because Liam Gallagher was the front man, it was probably like, oh god, Noel Gallagher's going to do a solo record, I wonder how that's going to be. What the hell, it's amazing, like, there isn't a bad track on here, every song on here works really well, this is like a 9 out of 10 record, it's fantastic. The production is incredible, because unfortunately the production gets a slightly bit worse on each album from Noel. It's the most stripped back, it's easily his best solo album. I won't say easily, but it definitely is his best solo album. Really, really, really good record. Anyone who doesn't like Oasis because of the Liam Gallagher vocals, they're a bit draining for some people, I know. Fair enough, that's fine. Give that a go, though, because that is a really good album. 2012, another fantastic year, especially here in the UK. We had a lot going on that year. We had the Diamond Jubilee, we had the Olympics, and what the hell, my favourite album from that year is by a British band, and it's Keane again. Keane again. We love Keane here on this channel. I love Keane, one of my very favourite bands. My favourite modern band, or favourite band since the decade, let's say. Since the Millennium, sorry. This album's great, Strangeland. I never see anyone really talk about this record. Tracks on here, you know, You Are Young, Silenced by the Night, Disconnected, Sovereign Light Cafe, which was my most played song on Spotify this year. On the Road, The Starting Line, Black Rain, Neon River, all amazing songs. I love them. This is a great record, really great. It's such a shame that we had to wait until this year to get another album from them after that. But hey, we finally got one. Hopefully we get another one soon. 2013, David Bowie, The Next Day. This album just dropped like that. It's like a week's notice. It's like, oh yeah, Bowie's album's out next week. It was like, what? And what a fucking album, honestly. It took 10 years to get this, but it was so worth it. I mean, yeah, the artwork is not very good. It's creative, though. I like it. It's different. It's unique. But this album is filled with great songs. The Next Day is fantastic. Dirty Boys is great. Love Is Lost. Boss of Me. Where Are We Now? Valentine's Day. I'd Rather Be High. Heat. So She. Some really good stuff on here. It's a great album. Bowie didn't disappoint with this comeback. Fantastic. 2014 is going to Mr. Noel Gallagher again. Chasing Yesterday. This is a great record. It really is. He followed up the first one so well, because this is really on the same level. I just think the production's a little bit weaker on this one. But it really is on the same level. It's fantastic. It's a great album. Riverman, great. Heat in the Moment, great. The Girl with the X-Ray Eyes, great. Lock All the Doors, great. The Mexican, great. You Know We Can't Go Back Again, great. The Ballad of Mighty Eye, fantastic. I like nearly every track on here, as you can see. It's a really, really great album. So then what we at now? We at 2014? I think this is 14. It don't have a year on it. That was 13. This one was 14. This was 2015. It's got 3 left. This was actually kind of a weaker year for me, actually. You know, I said a minute ago that when we hit 2011 that they were all pretty easy. That's a lie. 2015 was a little bit of a struggle for me, picking my very favourite. But I'm going to go with this, and it's actually this band's weakest album. Funny enough, I prefer their debut album, which came before this. This is their second, and I preferred their third album. That just the year that those two come out, there were better stuff. This year, their weakest album, still a really good album. It was just better than everything else I've heard in that particular year. 2015 is Going to the Lone Bellow. Then Came the Morning. I'd say this is their weakest album, but just in 2015 there was nothing I preferred over it. But they're a great band, the Lone Bellow. They really are. Their debut album and their third album are just like incredible, and this one's nearly there. It just lacked a little bit. This one's a bit slower, a bit more depressing, but there's some really good stuff on here. It's a good flowing country American album, very New York sounding. Yeah, the cover is absolutely horrific. 2016 was so easy for me. Blues of Desperation by Joe Bonamassa. Joe Bonamassa is one of my very favourite artists. I mean, you can't see it anymore. His records all used to be here behind me. I used to have like a whole box nearly full up, but they've been shunted down a bit now. Again, it was to save space. It's not that these have become more important to me than my records. It's just got to do some reorganising every now and then. But this album is incredible. There ain't a bad song on here. Mountain Climbing and The Valley Runs Low is still on my playlist to this day since the album come out. I love both them songs so much. The whole album flows well. It's got great guitar riffs from Joe and probably his best vocal performance ever. Right, 2017, finishing off the list. Yeah, I haven't got one for 2018 because I'm still listening to stuff from 2018, still discovering. 2019, obviously, the year isn't up yet, but I'll say at the minute, 2019 is more than likely going to go to this album here. This is Aurora, A Different Kind of Human. But I'm going to say it's probably going to go to it. You'll have to wait till the end of the year to see my worst to best albums from 2019. But for 2017, it is going to Carry Fire by Robert Plant. Again! Robert Plant's appearing again. This is his best solo album, I think. Lullaby and the Ceaseless Roar, if you want to count that as his solo album, was also really good from 2014. Just wasn't as good as Noel Gallagher's, unfortunately. But this album's great. It's really country again, with a bit more of a rocky influence, and it's just so good. The May Queen is hands down one of Robert Plant's best songs ever. But there we go. There's my favourite album from every year since I've been on this planet. Yeah. There it is. I hope you've enjoyed it as always, guys. I say, if you're making videos and you want to take part and you make a video, let me know, because I'll be really interested to see if other people jump on this, see what other people do. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it as always. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye bye.